Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Leverett Ball Show. And on this episode, I am joined by Julia Radley. And Julia is the founder of Stoop Dating, giving people a new perspective on how to meet other singles. And Julia, what was kind of the thought process that went into initially starting Stoop?
Yeah, definitely. So, first off, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to do this. But I started stoop dating mainly because I love the idea of meeting people authentically and having real, intimate conversations with people. I think nowadays a lot of us are stuck behind our phones and afraid to approach people. And I moved here from New Jersey, sat on different stoops all throughout South Boston and met so many people just from sitting outside. And I've always worked in video production, and I knew I wanted to start my own content page. And I thought to myself, why not do something with this? It felt so community based and it includes everything that I love. So I thought like it was the perfect idea.
Definitely, definitely. And you mentioned how everyone is kind of meeting people on their phone, using the dating apps. And sometimes the dating apps can be a little bit toxic. And I guess it was kind of part of your thought process in starting Stoop, just based on, a lot of people don't have the best experiences if they're only meeting people on Hinge and Tinder and other apps.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the dating apps, one, it's so easy to write someone off solely based off of appearance. And I hate that idea that people become so surface leveled in dating. I think attraction is extremely important, but I don't think it's the first reason why I should write someone off. I've even seen people look at dating profiles and just look at their picture and immediately swipe left. I also think with the dating apps, it gives you limitless options, which takes away the intention of dating. You can just line up about 5 dates a week if you want with dating apps and not even care about any of the people if they stop seeing you because you can just say, well, I have other options on the app. So I think those are the two things I hate the most about the apps. I also know there's positives to it, but just the way I view dating and how happy my parents are together, I just think I want to bring back the old school idea, whether it be setting people up on a blind date on different stoops or having stoop events where people can meet in person and sign up and come just to talk to people organically.
100%. And I think also, kind of building off what you said with the dating apps, people look at appearance, but also there are other superficial things, on the dating app, it'll say, your job title, which
Mhm.
school you went to. Some people will rule people out based on they didn't go to a fancy school or this or that. And so, definitely, I think the in-person interaction maybe eliminates some of that. But also, you have your stoop events. I actually went to one of them recently. I'm actually getting married to a woman I met at the event. No, I'm lying. I'm lying about that. But I did go to one of your events recently. But yeah, but what events do you have coming up? And also, for anyone listening who hasn't been to one of your events before, how do they exactly work and what are they like?
Yeah, definitely. So I hope you had fun, first off, but also all of our events are, I'm planning to do them a little bit differently just to, hit different types of people instead of, making it super inclusive. I really want to, our whole brand is being extremely inclusive. So kind of on a month to month, I'm going to be switching the format as much as I possibly can, just so that one, it keeps people excited, and two, again, be more inclusive. But our last event at the clock, I would describe it as a singles party, which I honestly love those, but not all of them are going to be like that. But we just had a bunch of singles in the bar and we do live stoop dates on the side. And then it was for Valentine's Day. So we gave out individual Valentine's Day cards to everyone that if you were interested in someone, you could approach them and make your small talk conversation with your Valentine's Day card and be like, hey, I thought you were cute. Here's a Valentine's Day card. And it's as simple as that. And then we do live matchmaking, pull people aside, do stoop dates on the side, which that's something I plan to do at every event just because I think that's what makes stoop dating so special is our live dates or our speed dates. But really, our main goal with our events is to make it really low pressure. There's already so much pressure in dating. I don't try to put too many people together. If you want to go on a live date, that's totally fine. It's really just show up, let your guard down, and have fun.
Definitely. Yeah, and you mentioned the pressure in dating. I feel like sometimes if you go on a first date, it feels like a job interview,
Hmm.
and some people, I feel like some people on first dates, they feel like they can't be themselves,
Hmm.
and they have to act fake. So definitely, like you said, it eliminates the pressure. But also, you mentioned like the live dates. You have the option at those events of doing the on-camera date. And, on your social media pages, there are clips of you, on the stoop, with interviewing people who are on a date. I mean, I know you have a background in video production and content. How did the idea come about to do the content side of it and have some of the on-camera dates with people who are comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I think the reason why I wanted to put it on camera, there's a lot of reasons behind it, so I'll try to narrow it down as much as I possibly can. But the first one and my main one is social media is so negative nowadays. Every time I scroll, especially when it comes to dating, women are complaining about men, men are complaining about women, and it's just like so polarizing. With Stoop Dating, I want to put something positive into the media about dating, something wholesome, something that gives people hope because our generation has become so negative across the board when it comes to dating. And I think just showing that like this still exists gives a lot of people hope. I also wanted to put it on camera because unlike the dating apps, when you come on Stoop, it's almost like a virtual dating profile. So a lot of times we have people come on the Stoop and their match doesn't work out, but someone will DM them and be like, "Hey, I really liked your answers on Stoop Dating. I would love to take you out." And we've had a lot of success stories from that, just from people seeing others on the Stoop and then they slide in their DMs. And I think with that, unlike a dating app, it shows more of a profile. It shows more who you are than just what meets the eye.
Yeah, and the point you made about dating being too negative, I think that's so true. You'll see all the time on social media, like a guy will post a TikTok video about, I went on a date with this girl, she was a nightmare, or a woman will post about, I went on this awful date with this man, and I think, like if you're posting videos like that, what if the person you went on a date with sees that? It's kind of nasty, and I think also, I think where dating has gotten to, is that people, if they go on a first date with someone, they either go on a second date with them and end up liking them, or they trash them. The whole concept of not liking someone, not going on a second date, but being respectful about it is kind of lost. And I think there's a big put down culture in dating. So I think that's great that, you want to put more of a positive spin on dating. So, that's awesome. And I mean, also, you're involved in a lot of different things. But before I want to ask you a little bit about your work with Shadow Lion. But before I get to that, um, you know, you do the on camera dates and everything. Is there ever a chance that you would have your own Stoop Dating Netflix show? Like everyone's watching Love Is Blind now. Is there ever a chance you'd have a Netflix show called like Stoop Is Blind or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I love that idea. I think right now we are, it'll be a year that that I started this in March. March 3rd was the first day that I started Stoop Dating of last year. So we're still in the very early stages of Stoop Dating, but my mindset with everything is the sky's the limit. Right now, I'm still open to everything, every opportunity. Um, I just am so passionate about it and I love it and I meet so many amazing people through it and it's honestly the best decision I've ever made starting it. So I think it's just wherever the road takes me.
100%, 100%. And, I mentioned also Shadow Lion. So you're involved in a lot of different stuff. You do Stoop. You also work with Shadow Lion, which is Tom Brady's creative media studio. You're actually the third Shadow Lion person who I've interviewed. So I might have to, instead of calling this the Leverett Ball Show, I might have to start calling it like the Shadow Lion Show. But, what's it been like, working with them and what does your role with them exactly entail?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been with Shadowline for 2 years. Actually, the reason why I moved to Boston, I love working for them so much that I didn't have to move here. I decided to move here, just because our team of people and group of people are one, so hardworking, which is my energy. I just love being surrounded by those types of people. But also, it's just such a great community. Like, everyone gets along so well at our job. It doesn't feel like a job half the time, and it's honestly been my dream job. So it's been great. And I'm an editor there, which again is how I have like all this skill set to start my own page with Stoop Dating. I've always been passionate about videography, photography, editing. I used to shoot weddings. I interned a bunch of different places in college. I've had like a YouTube account since fifth grade. I used to make music videos. I was like the kid in high school who would have the GoPro and take videos of everyone. So I brought it like on our senior Disney trip. So I've always been super passionate about this field, and it's always been my dream to work in it. And I feel like, especially in this past year, everything has been falling into place, whether it be with my full-time job or with my side hustle.
100%. And you mentioned also, you're from New Jersey. You moved here for your job with Shadowline. Where did you go to school in New Jersey? Did you do your college there?
Yes. So this goes back to saying how passionate I am about videography. I actually got recruited to play basketball at Montclair, and I ended up quitting before my first game because I knew I wanted to work in this field, in this industry. And I know when you're a full-time athlete in college, it's really hard to get internships. So that was a really tough decision for me, because I also have always loved sports growing up playing basketball. But Montclair had a great video production school and TV production school. I have professors I still talk to. I had an amazing experience all around. So,
Well, and did you ever meet the YouTuber Jesse James West when you were there? He went to Montclair at one point.
yes, I did. Yes, he's
Yeah, what
great.
was he like?
Amazing. I mean, I've only talked to him a few times briefly at like the lacrosse parties back in the day.
Yeah, he played lacrosse there. Yeah. Y-
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
but
funny. I mean, he's married now, but if he wasn't married, he'd probably be a good person to have at your stoop events. Women love him. So
oh yeah, at
half
Montclair
it.
they did too.
Yeah, I mean, half of his videos from before he got married were like him hitting on women in public.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah, but I guess it's a small world, and also as far as the future goes, you're gonna keep working with Shadowline, keep doing Stoop. Do you have any big projects or things you're really excited about in the near future?
yeah, definitely. I have another event coming up for St. Patrick's Day, which I'm really excited for because that's going to be at a bigger venue. We sold out our tickets at our last event and had a huge wait list. And I mean, that's obviously amazing for me just to see what I've grown and what I've built, that I could sell out tickets enough to the point where there's a giant wait list. So I'm really excited for that. I also know St. Patrick's Day in Boston is like the best time of the year. So I think it'll be a super exciting event.
Oh yeah, St. Patrick's Day in Boston is unreal. I don't know. Because I went to college in the Boston area. I remember, what's the bar in Southie called? The Playwright. Have you ever been there? Yeah, I remember me and my buddies in college one year on St. Patrick's Day, we were asked to leave the Playwright because they said we had too much to drink. So since then, I've been trying to enjoy the holiday a little bit more responsibly. But it's an awesome holiday in Boston. I think Boston's the best place to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. And
Sorry to interrupt. I just have to say that's the only way that you have to do it.
yeah,
I think you should be irresponsible.
yeah.
But
I mean, I when they were like, "You've had too much to drink," I couldn't be like, "You're wrong." I mean, they had a point, but yeah. So I don't know. Shit happens, but I mean, are you also gonna have other events on other holidays? Like, will you maybe have like a Fourth of July stoop event or anything?
yeah, definitely. I try to do a lot of events and also Stoop videos themed around holidays or maybe things that are trending. But I have a really big event idea for the summer that's still in the works. I don't want to give too much away, but that's the event I'm most excited for. I also have
Uh,
some other things for the spring in the works that I don't want to give away, but we have some exciting stuff coming up.
Exciting stuff to come. And as far as the summer goes, my birthday is July 28th. Is there any chance there'd be a Stoop event on July 28th called Leverett Ball Day, and everyone just comes? I don't know. Just I mean, that might be a shitty
I
idea.
feel
Just a
like,
thought.
I feel like that would be an amazing event.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I don't know, but just putting some thoughts out there. But also, for anyone who wants to keep up with Stoop or keep up with you and everything you're doing, what are the social media handles that people can follow Stoop on, and also what are your social media handles?
Yeah, so Stoop Dating is at stoop.dating, and then we have at Stoop Events, stoop.events, and then my personal page on TikTok and Instagram is JulesRadXX, JulzRadXX.
Awesome, awesome. And before we wrap things up, I'm curious, you were able to create your own entrepreneurial thing and have some success. What advice would you have for anyone listening who maybe wants to start their own project, do their own entrepreneurial thing? If I don't know, if I was an aspiring entrepreneur, what advice would you have for me?
Mhm. Okay, I'll give three things. That's hard because I feel like I could name so many things that I've learned just from this past year.
There's no limit. You can name as many things as you want.
The first thing definitely, which I think especially in the creative industry, it's really easy to overthink what other people are saying about you. I think just fuck it. Like, I think too many people care about other people's opinions, and if you know your intentions behind what you're doing, what other people have to say is just outside noise and ignore it. It's really scary to do that. That first post on your social media, what are people that know me are gonna think? What are people gonna comment? Um, you could do the best thing in the world and someone's still gonna find a reason to hate you. So it doesn't matter. Just do what you want and do it well. The second thing I would say is trust your intuition with everything. If you're overthinking something, a business strategy, or overthinking a post, overthinking an edit, just trust your gut. Too much thinking makes you spiral, and it's not good at all for your business or yourself. And then I would say, I'm gonna think of one more. Hmm. Oh, okay. I know this. Okay. This is the third thing. This one is probably the biggest lesson I've learned. Um, the middle phase of growing your business is the hardest phase. The beginning is super exciting because, you're getting your feet off the ground. It's something new. You look forward to it every day. Then once you hit that middle piece where maybe you're getting less views, other people are less excited, and you kind of have to switch gears a little bit and change it up. That's where most people quit. And that is the hardest, but also the best part because that's the part of the journey you'll remember the most. And I know I'm in the middle phase right now and I'm gonna keep grinding, but that's definitely a scary place to be for a lot of people who start their own business or entrepreneurship. So,
Yeah, 100%. I think also it's funny when it comes to when it comes to, dealing with haters and people who mock you for, having ideas and trying to do things. It's always the people who don't have the guts to create their own project who judge the people who go for it.
mhm.
So yeah, I mean, you have to, tune those people out, 100%. But Julia, I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, and maybe the marriage rates in Boston will go up because of Stoop Dating. Um, but once again, everyone, you've been listening to the Leverett Ball Show. Thanks for tuning in.